After the pandemic, the entire world is now forced to accept that we will never go back to the days of old. It has never been more important to make sure that we get every bang for every buck that we're able to put our hands on. No longer can we afford to allow people to tell us that these are exposure events and we're going to help your child, and it turns out to be an empty promise that leaves families broke and disappointed and frustrated. Everybody is the man or the woman in their own neighborhood. This is a global culture. So if you're not competing on a global stage against global talent, there's somebody right now doing 10 times more than you are. So here at Are You Wasting Time, we're excited to bring real opportunities, real promise, real exposure. So this is Coach Ali, and thank you GBL, thank you all of our other partners that are allowing us to be able to take students out of the country and bring other nations in. So everyone else, go ahead and ask yourself. Turn me to a demon while I'm heartless. Feeding for that paper, turn me nauseous. No, I got a couple haters, so I'm cautious. So I've been knocked down by 1,000 times. So deep inside of me, tell me keep on trying. Me and bro ain't had that much to eat, always just split the pie. My pop was always on his feet, I swear he taught me pride. My mama just wanted to be. This is Coach Ali. Of course, you guys know who I am by now. And with Are You Wasting Time Youth Empowerment Nonprofit Corporation. You know, there are times when, as the director of operations, and this is a youth empowerment movement, and so having a youthful energy and being relatable with boundaries, of course, it certainly is an asset. But there are times when the message that needs to be delivered dictates a focused level of communicating. So, man, we're excited. We got a lot of breast cancer awareness initiatives that that obviously are very important issues. This has never been about just basketball. We have expanded into, we have a beautiful digital media center that's under development where students will be able to learn on a novice level introductory skill sets relative to filmmaking, photography, creating podcasts, and learning how to monetize that situation, whether it be YouTube or live streaming. I mean, you name it. If it's in the digital world, we are certainly excited to help students fuel that curiosity and to secure valuable intel on how to engage that particular entrepreneurial focus. So we are super excited about that. Obviously those of you that follow, you can see that we are scheduled to go to Lagos, Nigeria. We're very excited about that. We have a total of 5 dates this year in 2022. And we're working on with some very, I'm not at liberty to state with what entity. There are various entities that we're working with, but I can tell you that we are very excited about being able to unite the nations, if you will, to bring communities together. Never before in the history of, and certainly in my lifetime, have we seen such disconnect socially as a result of the pandemic and people needing to keep their distance and safety, and so the fabric of civilized society has more than likely been forever rocked by this pandemic and just the absence of real clear intel on how this will affect us in the future and how we can effectively protect ourselves. And there's some individuals that are afraid of vaccines, and there's some individuals that swear by vaccines. And so just those two positions alone have, created a cavern, if you will, that on some fronts seemingly may never reunite. And that's scary, and we pray that that's not the case. But so with that being said, Are You Wasting Time Now is expanding into exposure football opportunities, both all-star and developmental. We are expanding into baseball exposure opportunities. And we have strategically aligned ourselves and created a network that includes every major college in the United States is accessible to Are You Wasting Time in GBL by way of our good friends at the DME of Daytona. Those individuals, and I pray that I'm not overstepping my boundaries when I sound the alarm on what amazing work is taking place in the state of Florida, specifically in Daytona with DME. I believe that their statistic of placement is right around 98% of their graduates in that academy get placed in colleges. And so by working with DME, we now have a database that is accessible to us that gives students an unprecedented advantage, an unfair advantage, if you will, in exposure. College coaches now have the equivalent of almost like a Facebook of recruitment, where all of your information, your combine, your stats, your assets, your grades, your personality, the things that you like, game footage. The days of just being able to jump fast and dribble good and shoot far does not guarantee you placement in college. And so Are You Wasting Time is excited as an empowerment entity to eliminate the clouding to be used.
That's how the mind works. So the bad habits are like, yo, I'm right.
You've heard me say some things that, this may rub some people the wrong way. And quite frankly, those that are offended, that may have ill will against the community, I care not about you. I care more about the student that goes through 4 years of high school and is unable to get a Division I scholarship because they haven't been properly guided as to how to meet the eligibility requirements. That is something that is rampant in the community. I can't tell you how many students are just not properly aligned to be able to get that Division I opportunity. And there's a disconnect that's happening. And Are You Wasting Time is saying it stops now. We are going to create a network where parents can reach out to us and find out right away who the fraudulent programs are. Not everyone that yells AAU is even a member of the union. Yet, unprecedented levels of money are being funneled to individuals that are grossly misrepresenting their capabilities. They're grossly misrepresenting their their market share. They're grossly misrepresenting what type of exposure they're actually giving you. You know, when you say the word exposure, that's a very general word. When you step out the door, you're being exposed. So, Are You Wasting Time is looking to empower the community by having good information. So you're going to know when you're dealing with Are You Wasting Time and GBL and DME and any of our other network partners, there's not going to be any cloudiness. You're going to know who you're connected to. You're going to know who's potentially watching you. You're going to know that we are members of whatever organization that we say we are affiliated with. You'll be able to see clear evidence of that. And so the days of charging families thousands of dollars and having thousands of dollars funneled to these fraudulent programs that are not really AAU, they're glorified travel entities, and many coaches are living off of families. Yes, I am not afraid to say that. And I'm waging war against misrepresentation and taking advantage. I'm done with it. So whoever is not happy with what I am saying, then, as the kids say in the neighborhood, pull up. I'm not running. This stuff has to stop. I can name over 50 kids that were local high school standouts that went nowhere. Shame on us all. I said us all. Every day I wake up thinking I could have did more, I should have did more. And I'm only one person. I tell you, I promise you, Coach Ali, I get wore out, man. But something deep inside telling me, keep on trying. Knocked down 1,000 times by an amazing artist by the name of Malik Corleone. Has given us our theme song. It's called 1,000 Times. And you're going to hear that on probably every piece of media that we release, because it really is the theme song. If you think that we got from putting 8 kids in a van that I had to borrow, I didn't have a van. Using my own earnings from working at a car lot is how I financed this program. I've spent countless dollars of my own to keep this dream alive, and now those days are over. You know, now we're able to get the recognition that this kind of effort deserves. And so, you know, we never were interested in playing locally because we had recognized that a lot of the local processes were not processes that would lead a kid to be in UNLV or lead a kid to, you know, go to Florida State, because those markets don't even come to areas like this unless they're looking for a specific kid. And so, you know, so with that being said, I just want to make sure it's still filming. So with that being said, you know, we had the goal of just taking kids to different markets that they ordinarily would not be recruited in, hoping that somebody would see them. So it wasn't that we didn't like our community or didn't want to be. It was just that the beast was so big that we just chose not to fight the beast at that time. We chose to, you know, take those kids that were in the 11th hour with no options and just try to take them somewhere, hoping somebody would see them. And so, but now, now that has all changed. We're no longer touring only. We're hosting events. We're hosting quality, measurable events. We are able to boast brands that will be, you know, placed in our events that have measurable backgrounds of helping students. GBL services over 30,000 1,000 students annually. And thanks to Are You Wasting Time, we're now international. That's right. The CEO of the GBL tapped me on the shoulder and gave me a single phone number and said, Coach, make it happen. And now we have 5 events in the motherland, Lagos, Nigeria. We're now in talks with the borders have opened in Australia. We're now engaged in talks with Australia. We have friends in Australia. We're now looking at the Dominican Republic. We're looking at the DR. We have a huge, our crown jewel will always be Las Vegas. And this is the first year that we're going to have that. We have Honolulu on our schedule for 2023. And so what I am saying to my community is that, hey man, I love each and every one of you. You guys know me. You guys know me. You know, the Golden Bulls off the Merc, the side of the town that many times gets is left out of the conversation unless it's something bad. It's good people over there, man. Real good people. People that I would go to war with anytime. Loyal people. Purposeful people. Our day is here. I'm an underdog. I was a person that was a part of a statistic that should not be here. And Lord knows I've wasted a lot of time not having a GPS on how to navigate and make good decisions effectively and consistently. And thank God there's a divine force that protected me and enabled me to get to where I am without losing my life, without losing my freedom. And so the way that I pay that debt back for those blessings is I am forever committed to empowerment. So you'll never see Coach Ali attached to anything where you show up, you play a game, and you buy some cookies and some chicken wings and get you a medal and go home. I think that's great. I think that kids need a place to exercise and have fun. So I throw no shade at that. But for that kid that lives in a house that barely has lights and his athleticism is the hope of an opportunity to resurrect an entire family, that model doesn't help him. He needs real exposure. He needs real guidance. He needs real know-how. He needs real information. He doesn't need to be on a team where this coach is basically living off of it. Let's do the math. Let's say you're charging $1,000. Let's say you have 10 kids on the team. That's 10 grand. Let's say you have 8 teams. That's $80,000. And the average tournament that you attend locally is a couple $100. You may take kids to Myrtle Beach. That's right up the road, man. That's not travel basketball. Going to Greensboro is not travel basketball. That's still a part of our community. Myrtle Beach is a part of our community, man. It's right up the road. Raleigh is right up the road. Stop lying to these people, man. It's not right. So, I've never spoken like this publicly on a platform, not with such deliberation, not with such patience and clearly articulated points. Sure, I've been seen ranting out of frustration from time to time about this, but the ranting has stopped. Look how calm I am. Look at how I'm sitting. Don't test me. Don't test me. We're going to do what's right by our community. We're going to do what's right. So I want to say shouts out to, and this does not mean that these individuals are obligated or a part of anything that I've said, because I don't have the right to speak for them. I just know that as a fan of greatness, I'm excited to work with anybody that's doing the right thing, and the 2-6 Project is one of them. I participated and volunteered in their event, and have no illusion. Are You Wasting Time didn't offer a single nothing to the success of that other than muscle. In fact, I spoke to the leader of that, one of the leaders, Mr. Grant. I told him, I said, man, I don't want any selfies with J. Cole or mare. I respect them brothers and I salute them for being successful. But man, I'm not coming there for, to strengthen up my Instagram, which is actually pretty weak. So help Coach Ali tell some people to follow me, man, because I think I'm sitting at like 500 or something. So man, maybe a picture with J. Cole, you know what I mean, or somebody would give me. I'm not on that. I'm not on that time. I told that brother I want to work. I want to lift boxes. I want to clean up. And I was there from beginning to end, and I did just that. That was my way of saying, I respect what you're doing. So I definitely feel it's appropriate to acknowledge the 2-6 Project, to let them know that I'm still here. I recognize that they are a big entity, and it's an ocean liner. It's not a speedboat. And you are not able to take an ocean line and just hook a left and rock with somebody. An ocean liner takes a gradual process to turn and change directions. And not everybody's even worthy of working with them. So I just know that I patiently await just the opportunity to stand next to them in anything they do, especially after I saw what took place at that stadium. Man, I just kept asking myself, where would these people be if it wasn't for this event? Man, I saw God at work. That's all I can tell you. Man, I saw a church. I saw a church, man. And I became an immediate fan. So Roots Mentoring was another organization. I had the pleasure of chopping it up with that brother. So, follow those guys on Instagram. Just Google them. And I don't really remember their URLs, but, search Roots Mentoring and the 2-6 Project. And, man, help them brothers out. If you don't do a thing for me, I'm good. But definitely help them brothers out, man. Because I'm 57 getting ready to be 58. Them young brothers are my heroes. Them young brothers, man, they came out the gate not wasting time. So salute to their parents, salute to their upbringings. It's some real disadvantages to when you come up the way I did. And I'm not going to go into a woe is me scenario, but I will tell you that, my father was a bank robber, was a drug dealer, and ultimately he left this earth a victim of his drug of choice. And that was back in the 90s. I remember seeing my father one time as a man. I was a grown man, and he was not under the influence of anything. He didn't even know who I was. So, and sometimes you laugh to keep from crying, and this is not a time. Coach can get emotional, trust me. Don't sleep on me, and don't think you're sweet. I'm just a passionate person, and but this is not one of the times that I'm going to get emotional. I'm focused right now. And my dad did the best that he could with who he was at that time of his development. And my mother certainly did the same. And my grandmother, who raised me until I was 8, and she passed away. So I salute my parents for giving it, I guess they say, a good college try, even though I was the first person to attend college in my family. So my mother's going back to God Almighty. So I pray she can look down and see me. I wasn't able make her proud the way I wanted to on this earth. But Ma, I got you. Pops, I forgive you and I got you. You know what I mean? So 2-6, North Carolina, Fayetteville in the building, you know what I mean? Yeah, they give us a lot of credit. And I say us because this is my home now. Everybody know. And I'm straight yelling New York all the time because New York shaped me. New York shaped me into the man that I am. And New York will always be considered as my home. You know what I mean? Always be considered my home. But, you know, it's not where you from. It's not what you claiming. It's where you are. And this is where I am. And this is where I'm posted up. And this is where I have a lot of love. I got so much love here, I didn't even know. I'm constantly walking into people that's like, yo, I heard about you. I just pray that it's more good than bad. I realize in closing that I'm an aggressive energy. I ran away at age 9. And I did not run to a family member. I was outside all night long as a 9-year-old scared kid. I was scared, but I wasn't shook. I knew that if somebody knew where I was hiding at, when I stayed out all night running away from a less than stable situation, I knew that it could cost me my life. So I was aware. I was scared, but I wasn't shook. And that same energy, you know how they say, keep that same energy. Well, I got that same energy. Coach Ali is far from shook. So for those that are not doing the right thing, you have been put on notice. You're being given an opportunity to just do the right thing, man. Just do the right thing and know that there's people in this community that need our help. They need our support. They need our love. And with this COVID thing, come on, man. How could you feel good about yourself taking money, yelling exposure, knowing damn well that's not what you're doing? So, you've been put on notice. I don't want any smoke. But I'm not going to hesitate to issue smoke for doing the right thing. I'm not a tough guy. I'm not threatening nobody. I'm not on that time. But I'm focused on doing what's right, man. And I will not be rerouted from that. I've wasted enough time in my life. That's over with now. So this is Coach Ali. I pray that this intimate sit down is something that will help the world and my community just get a better view of who the director of operations of Are You Wasting Time really is. I'm not the boss. We have a board. We have other people that drive this engine. I'm just a passionate person that's excited to do the work, and I'm the director of the operations. And so I say to you, thank you for trusting me with your children, with your money, with your time, and know that this changes everything. Baseball, football, at some point volleyball, track and field, swimming, soccer. But right now, the clear, actionable spaces of expansion without any cloudy talking is football, all-star exposure and developmental exposure with real opportunities, with press, international press credentials, and real media. Yes, real streaming, football, baseball, and basketball are real actionable initiatives that are being spearheaded right now as I speak. Not to mention digital media. so it's way more than basketball. This is about empowerment. This is about really being of service to community. And one of my favorite quotes of all time comes from the greatest of all time. And that quote is, service to others is the rent that we pay for our space here on earth. I live by that, and I'm going to leave this earth with that code glued to my soul, man. I'm here to help. So if you need my help, if you want my help, it don't have to do with basketball. It might just be, man, you may be thinking about bodying somebody, bro. Before you do that, man, DM me, man. DM me and let's spread this thing out on the table and see what it really is. Because a lot of times it's not really that serious. So this is Coach Ali. I love you all. I appreciate you all. And pull up, man. Pull up. Let's figure out. We need money. We need money. So if you know sponsors, we are a 501c3. So if you know sponsors, you know donors, you know, I don't have time to be chasing grants. I mean, we can do that, but man, we need money. My goal is to provide these services for free. Now, I'm not able to do that at this time. I'm just barely being able to stop spending my own money, but I haven't even completely stopped that yet. No cap. But I can tell you, so if you know anybody, you know, our website is down below. areyouwastingtime.org. We need interns. We're going to be hiring soon. We need videographers. We need editors. We have a media company. We need chaperones. We're going to be hiring program directors. So get to know us now because we're going to be very selectful. We're not just grabbing any old person off the street. And you're not just getting down because you know me. That's not happening. And just because you're family, I'm talking about real family, no. You will not be automatically entrusted with souls. This is serious business. This is not sports. These are souls, man. These are people that deserve a fair opportunity of building a good life. So that's what it is. I know this was long. It wasn't intended to be brief. It was intended to be informative. So I pray that I've informed some people. And we need money, man. Send people our way. Corporate sponsors, corporate donors. I know some people that's popping. I ain't never asked them for a penny. And I know them real well. I'm a stand-up dude. I raised my son the same way. I told my son, who's a very accomplished artist right now, I told him, man, don't you ever rap for anybody. I don't care if it's Nas. I don't care if it's J. Cole, if it's Jay-Z. Don't you ever rap for anybody. Because the moment you rap for another man, you asking for his permission. That means you just been sunned and you already have a father. So if I taught my son that, and that's the code he lived by, what I look like running up to somebody that I know that may be in the NFL or the NBA and saying, yo, man, hook me up, hook my program up with some sneakers, man, or hook me. Come on, man. I ain't never asked nobody for nothing. But now that you see who I am, and now that you see what I'm about, if it's in your heart to help move this thing forward, then definitely pull up, man. I ain't too proud to say that, but I ain't asking nobody for nothing. I've been out here in this community. Ask about Coach Ali. Ask about me. And last and finally, I have to say this. Shouts to the whole Smith family, the Smith way. Shouts to you. And shouts to my man, Smitty, Dennis Smith Sr. If it were not for you, yeah, if it were not for you, Are You Wasting Time probably wouldn't even be posted up the way we are. Because it was you, Smitty, when everybody else was standoffish and wouldn't give me an opportunity. You gave me my first coaching opportunity in this area, which enabled me to build reputation of a man that's purposeful in my community. You gave me that chance as a defensive coach, and you entrusted your son, who is now in the NBA. You entrusted him with me. I remember when he actually wanted to hang out with me and my son as opposed to being in the room of riffraff, and I knew then he was special. When he said, "Yo, coach, can I chill with you and Bowley?" I was like, you don't want to be in the room where they sneaking out. And so I knew then he was a dude that was different. And so shouts to the whole Smith family, shouts to Dennis Smith Sr., obviously Dennis Smith Jr., everybody always, a lot of people shout him out because they want something. But that man, to tell you, I ain't never asked him for nothing. You know what I mean? I respect that family. I respect that family too much to try to use my personal relationship as a way to get some free stuff. Nah, I don't move like that. So shouts to the Smith family. Shout to Smitty for giving me my chance. You helped me create an identity in the community that right now to this day, man, I still kick it with, players from way back then that are grown men now. They still pull up on me, man. We go to NFL football game. We went to a Panthers game, me and my sons, and Dominique Fredericks, the Golden Bull, part of the Are You Wasting Time Hall of Fame team, my very first team, with kids like Darius Moore, Cameron Mays, Killer Cam, Drew, who should have went D1, Left Hand Drew, y'all know who he is. E. Murphy, who should have played Division I. You understand what I'm saying? Man, I had the pleasure of coaching some amazing kids from back then. And they grown men right now. E. Murphy, he trusted his niece with me. You think he would have did that if he didn't know me? His niece is a standout. She definitely should be going D1. If she don't, I got beef with all her coaches. That chick is a problem. Shout to the Murph family. You know what I mean? So listen, man. Shout to Aunt Rhonda, Tara, you know what I mean? King Worley. Yo, just shout to everybody that's really my family that always showed me love and showed my son love. Man, I ain't gonna never forget that, man. And y'all can get whatever from me, you know what I mean? So this is Coach Ali. Everybody else, you ask yourself, are you wasting time? You know what I mean? You heard?
D-Mark got that heat.
I've been knocked down about 1,000 times. Don't even inside me, tell me keep on trying. So I've been knocked down about 1,000 times. So deep inside of me, tell me keep on trying. Me and bro ain't had that much to eat, always just split the pie. My pop was always on his feet, I swear he taught me pride. My mama just wanted the best for me, I hate to see her cry. My brother gon' stress something for me, I ain't gotta tell him why. I got it tucked up in my jeans, I ain't afraid to slide. My bitch be telling me all these things, can't believe all she do is lie. But she done carry me out these streets, I tell her hold me tight. Done left a lot of bitches in the past, they ain't treat me right. Just gave my cousin about a rat, he said I saved his life. When it come to family, I don't never think twice. When it come to time, you gon' stand for me, I'm running high. So much divide, I don't see why we gotta go and fight. So much pain inside. Gino and Kim up in the sky, I be asking God why they go up on that ride. Why this keep me up at night, and I'm Sitting by this candlelight, like who can I confide in? Talking about Batman, they try to do me like I'm robbing. A lot of my niggas robbing, kicking in apartment. Like where it's at, I know you got it. That struggle turn me to a demon while I'm heartless. Feeding for that paper, turn me nauseous. No, I got a couple haters, so I'm cautious. So I've been knocked down by 1,000 times. So deep inside of me, tell me keep on trying. Me and bro ain't had that much to eat, always that split the pie. My pop was always on his feet, I swear he taught me pride. My mama just wanted the best for me, I hate to see her cry. My brother gon' stress something for me, I ain't gotta tell him why. I got it tucked up in my jeans, I ain't afraid to slide.